Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Sonder Social. I'm Malika. For those of you who have never had a social with me, I'm so excited for all of you to join us on this wonderful Friday evening. We have over 100 of you dialing in, so we have a full group, which I know I'm very excited about. I look forward to this all the time, so I'm very, very excited. And for those of you who are new, shout yourselves out in the chat. Just say, hi, I'm new, so that we can just give you a warm welcome. I do see some familiar faces. So, welcome, Lisa. Lisa's new, but I am so excited for those of you who are new. Maureen is new. Welcome, welcome. So very excited to have all of you new folks. And for those of you who are returning, I see a lot of familiar names. Welcome back. I am joined by the one, the only Maya. And Maya will be popping in the chat. There she is. She's going to give you a little wave. Everyone say hi, Maya. She's the best. She's dialing in from Denver, Colorado, and I'm dialing in from sunny San Francisco. We're getting quite the heat wave today. So we're bracing ourselves. Hopefully the internet doesn't cut out. But yes, we're very, very excited to be here. Just a few reminders, make sure to set your chat to everyone. It is oftentimes when we dial on our phones or our iPads, it defaults to hosts and panelists. So make sure to double check, triple check that you are sending your chats to everyone. That's the main way we interact with each other. And with this social, there's going to be a lot to talk about. We're going to be probably reflecting a little bit on perseverance and what it means to us. And we definitely love to share in the chat. I know I do. So I think that's it, but let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's talk about this month's theme of perseverance. So when I was thinking about this month's theme, I first love to read the definition, which is at the beginning of your journal on page 3. So perseverance is defined as persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. So when I think of my earliest example of perseverance, I think about this moment I had when I was 6 years old, and I was performing a piano recital, my very first piano recital, where I had to memorize all these pieces from memory and play in front of all my friends. And they're all at my house. They're all waiting for me to play. And I completely freeze up and just run away. I'm so scared to play. And I feel like I can't go on. And after just a little bit of courage, I end up going back to that bench and just kind of performing my pieces and making sure that I just do the best I can. And I ended up playing piano for 13 more years and all the way until I was 18 years old. So even though that brief moment was really humiliating at that time and really scary, I feel like because of that perseverance, I ended up finding something that was a huge part of who I am, and just really, really something that I truly enjoyed throughout my childhood. So, yeah, that's one of my earliest examples of perseverance. But we'll talk about kind of perseverance and what it means to each and every one of you because we all have different ways we persevere in our lives. I'll walk through some of the guidelines. Keep in mind, this is a journaling social. Okay. So for these ones, we want to make sure we're extra, extra cautious and kind and courteous to ourselves and others. We want to limit any promotions or spam, respect everyone's privacy. This is a big one. Whatever happens, whatever's shared in our Sonder socials is private. So we don't want to kind of take it out of this Sonder social. There's no hate speech or bullying. Make sure to be a positive force in the chat. Try not to be negative, and limit repetitive product and accessory questions. If you have any product questions, just email hello@SilkandSonder. And then just remember that Sonder socials are here to really elevate your emotional health, and this is how we connect with each and every one of like us in this amazing community. So I just wanted to just welcome you to the social. I know I'm very excited, so I'm excited for you to join me. All right, let's get right into it. So we'll first do an intro activity about perseverance, just to get um, kind of understanding the theme a little bit, reflect a little bit before we move into the journal prompts, which is going to be a little bit more writing. And then we'll move on to our create your own bingo, which is going to be a fun one to end on. So we'll do a little bit of journaling, a little bit of writing, and then we'll do something more fun and creative and get a little bit more lighthearted. So we will start with the perseverance activity. So turn to a blank notes page or a scratch pad or scratch paper for this activity. And I'd let you know what perseverance meant to me. It's kind of, I like to think of it as like an anecdote, but think about what perseverance means to you. Maybe look at that definition on page 3. See if you can write your own definition, or if there's a memory in your mind that is an example of how you persevered through that, how you worked through that challenge, or how your determination and your courage made you kind of be that force to persevere despite whatever the outcome was. So I'll give you all a few moments to reflect on what perseverance means to you, and feel free to type in the chat what perseverance means to you, as I feel like it's so fun to read what you all write. And we'll regroup in a little bit. right. I just wanted to check in. I love the chatter that's going on in the chat. There's so many wonderful definitions. I'm just going to read a few. Pushing past the temporary fails, the attempts to get to the outcome slash goal you want. I love that definition. Consistency despite circumstances, just keep swimming, sticking to it and not giving up, keep going, keep trying no matter what to never give up. Practice not worrying about the falls, but getting back up again and again and again until you see progress. I just love these definitions. I think what's really amazing is there's just the definition in the journal is like one way, but like your own way of what perseverance means to you is really profound, in that it's a true example of what you've gone through in your life and how you continue to persevere in your life despite the challenges, despite the obstacles. So thank you all so much for sharing, and for just kind of reflecting on what perseverance means. All right. So, given the definition that you've written down, we'll all turn to page 14 of our journals. And here we're going to talk about the journal prompts together. So, we'll kind of walk through box by box. We'll start at the very top. Okay. So, we'll start at the top. And the first one is, who do you know that possesses great perseverance, and what can you learn from them? And try to think about who that person is. It may be a family member, it may be a mentor, it may be somebody you're not related to or is not in your life, but is somebody that you look up to. So it could be maybe a celebrity or somebody that has just been an inspiration to you, a political figure, anybody who you feel like you truly respect, and try to think about who that person is for you and how they continue to persevere and show up, and what do they possess, and what qualities do they kind of bring out to persevere, like what are those actual actions that they do to persevere. So I talked about my older sister. Please forgive, I didn't even finish the sentence, so ignore that part. Um, but I talked about my older sister and how she's a great example of perseverance, because it takes an incredible amount of courage and intellect to build start like a company from the ground up. I remember the day she started her company and like was kind of being a lot more scrappier than I thought. I didn't know how a company started, but that's how it starts. It starts from an idea. It starts from making it happen, and then made it grow. And this is why we're all here today, which is so exciting. But she's shown me how important it is to always believe in yourself, even if no one else believes in you. And she always let her intuition and her belief in that she can do it be her guiding light. So it'll always be like her North Star so that she can accomplish anything. So she's always been an inspiration, especially in my adult life. So with enough determination and smart choices, I think that I can also do anything. So she's a true inspiration to me and a great example of perseverance, because it is not easy being a female founder. So I invite you to think about who's an example of perseverance in your life, and take some time and think about who that person is, and go ahead and write down what they possess that makes them such a great example of perseverance. All right. Thank you all for sharing. Who in your life is an example of perseverance? I think it is so beautiful to read your stories. I think it's a true testament that people really, it's just, there's a lot of challenges that are thrown our way, and there's a lot that are out of our control and a lot of out of a lot of other people's control, especially with health. And it's just really, really incredible to see who has been an example of perseverance and how important it is to recognize kind of that determination that they all had to make their life a little bit better as much as they could, or as much as they can. So thank you all so, so much for sharing. I know this one is a little bit hard. It's not easy to reflect. But thank you all for taking the time to recognize that figure in your life. So I appreciate you all for being so vulnerable in the chat. And we will now move on to the next section, which is um, when was the time that you persevered and succeeded in something despite failing initially? So we'll first focus on the left box and then we'll move on to the right box. So for the first box, I can share what I wrote down. So I think about kind of in my college time frame, I remember failing a course in computer science. And despite my best effort, I nearly dropped out of college because I felt so ashamed. And it just was a real shock to me. But instead of giving up, I decided to not only not only just switched my major to a completely different engineering major, but I also kept that computer programming minor. And I was determined to make sure that I would never let that happen again. And what ended up happening is I persevered, and every semester forward, I made it to the dean's list, which basically meant that I performed above a certain grade point average that semester. So it was really validating to me. And I think about how my last semester of college, I even had the opportunity to be a TA in a computer programming course. And it really felt like full circle moment for me because it was one of the classes that I struggled with and how it was really hard for me, but now I was in the seat where I got to help encourage students who also were struggling. And it just felt really, really validating that I had worked my way to that opportunity to kind of carry the torch forward in a way. So that is what I think about when I think about perseverance in my adult life. And I encourage you to think about maybe something that you may have failed in, or whatever. Failure is so subjective, right? I mean, not everyone's perfect, but think about something that maybe you didn't perform as well as you thought. Let's get away from the word fail. Maybe think about something that you didn't think would go so as it went a little bit less great than you thought it would be initially. And think about how you worked through that challenge, through that moment, and how you kind of showed up for yourself in a way that only you could. So I'll give you all a few moments to write about that, and then we'll move on to the box to the right in a little bit. Mhm. I'm just so emotional. Just reading your messages. It's sometimes we forget how much we go through in life, and I feel silly writing about what I wrote about compared to some of the gravity of what you all are sharing in the chat. It's truly, you all are a true inspiration to me, and I think when I think about like why I love this community so much, it's because we all have something in common where a lot of us have gone through these really, really tough relationships or health scares or just bad situations. And I really am just in such awe of how strong you are. I'm like, I don't want to, I can't cry right now. But I am just so, so inspired by each and every one of you. And I am just like, I wish I could give you all a hug, because it is incredible what you all have gone through. And I know this is not easy. These journaling sessions are never easy. We always joke, we're like, this is the time when you want to bust out those tissues because it is hard to reflect on something that has served as a challenge for us and remember how it took a level of determination within us to get through that. And life is not always about the good, it's sometimes about the bad and becoming stronger from that moment. It's like those moments that are a challenge for us are the moments where we get to show up for ourselves and grow probably more than we ever would have without that. So I just want to commend you all for such all the perseverance that you all have within yourselves. And I that brings me to kind of that next box to the right. What traits, qualities, and mindset do you need to persevere successfully? So I think we've already unpacked who is a good example of perseverance and what traits they inhibit. Then we've talked about how we've persevered in our own lives and how we overcame that moment. And now we have to think about okay, from like a bird's eye view, what traits and qualities and mindset do we need to possess to make sure that we continue to persevere successfully for the challenges that are yet to come in our lives? So, I wrote about a book that I'm reading. I think I've talked about it and a few of my other socials, and it's called Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck. She's a Stanford professor, and she talks about how a lot of us operate from a scarcity mindset. So, thinking about kind of shifting that to open myself up to a abundance mindset. So never feeling like I'm stuck or I'm limited or the world is happening to me, but rather kind of what I can do to just grab the opportunities that I want to make sure that it's on the trajectory that I want to be on. I think about all the inspirational figures in my life. Sometimes I like watch on Masterclass, like all their stories or listen to podcasts about a lot of people who have built incredible companies that have changed the world. And I think about their journey and their path, and it all starts from like a vision and just kind of being focused on that vision. And I know there's always things that distract us, but thinking about kind of how we can set forth and making our dreams become a reality. And we should never ever feel like we're past a certain point, even if, as we grow older, we always are like, oh, it's too late for this or too late for that. It's never too late. So I think about kind of thinking about that as we go through life. So I will now turn it, I've talked enough. It's now your turn to think about what traits and qualities and mindset you need to persevere going forward. So I'll give you all a few moments to write that out, and then we'll regroup in a little bit. All right. Thank you all for sharing what qualities and traits. I want to share a few that popped in the chat. Grace, adaptability, imagination, and resourcefulness, bravery, determination, confidence, belief, hope, and desire, resilience, gratitude, flexibility, strength, self confidence, positive thinking, feeling of self worth, perspective. I love how you all kind of took this and really identified what traits, what mindset, what qualities we can do to just kind of make sure that we can persevere going forward. Let's all take a deep breath. That was a lot. And I am so grateful that you all kind of took this journey with me. I know it's not easy, which is why we do it together here at Slick and Saunders. So I'm so excited that you came to the Sonder Social. So now for the fun part. I know we're in weekend mode, so it's time to gear up for weekend mode. And we are time. It's time for the one, the only, the bingo. Okay, this is a fun activity. I had a lot of fun doing it last night. I even like bounced some ideas off with my roommates, just to help me fill in some boxes because I couldn't think of something for every single box. But it's gonna be a fun one. You can take it in any direction that you want to do for this month. Maybe you want to kind of continue the theme for perseverance. I took it in a very like fall themed bingo board. I love all things fall. I love it. It's so fun. It doesn't feel like fall right now, but it will. I know San Francisco has ultimate fall vibes, so I'm holding on. So I want to show you some examples of bingo boards of folks that have popped it into Sonder Club. So you can maybe grab some inspiration, but I'll also show you um, just a few other examples of bingo boards. Here is some fall themed bingo. So maybe this could serve as an inspiration. I know that I use these as inspiration for mine. I will show you this one. This one is, I'll go through these. I'll kind of cycle through these as you're all working on your bingo boards, by the way. So you'll come back. We'll come back to these. This one is a great one if you want to make it more of like a self care, a wellness bingo board. And here are some great ways to kind of structure it. There's also the 7 types of rest. So you could basically make sure you're hitting on each of the different types of rest to maximize your self-care bingo board. I think that's a great way to do it. We also have this is my bingo board that I made. So I drew little doodles everywhere and I'm filling it out as I go on with my month. I made pumpkin chocolate chip cookies last night. This bingo board really inspired the baking, even though it was 90 degrees last night. It was so hot. But I was really excited to make it. I also went wine tasting this past weekend with all of my best friends in Sonoma County. So that was wonderful and so fun. So I've definitely crossed a few things off, which is exciting. So these are kind of the ones I have for mine. And then here are some great examples of some bingo boards. This one, there's just a lot of, it's just a mixed bag. It's not about like, it doesn't always have to hit a theme. It can always just be like, what are some things that you want to accomplish to make it fun and make it like some almost like a game. So I know I'm trying to finish the whole bingo board. So it's fun to kind of structure it in that way. So here are some great examples. I love all the use of color. I love the use of all these doodles. The doodles are way better than my doodles, but I love it. And then these are also really fun. Love the use of colored pens. This one's really fun too. This is very fall themed as well. And I like the little stickers. So definitely get creative. It's really fun to kind of make it your own. So I'll give you all some time. I'll give you a huge chunk of time. and I'll cycle through some of these examples before we wrap. So go ahead and start your bingo boards and tell us kind of what you're going to put on your bingo board. Are you going to follow a theme? Are you just kind of make it a mixed bag? Are you going to like, where are you going to take this, or like how are you going to decorate it? Tell us what you're doing on your bingo board. But I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right. Lauren, yes, of course, you can see the slide with the other examples. Here are some other examples. All right. You can see my setting has changed with the sunset that happened. I had to turn on some lights. But I wanted to say a huge thank you for just sharing all the stuff that you're doing in the bingo. I know it's kind of fun to work on these. I know it takes a long time to set these up too. So if you didn't finish, that's totally fine. Feel free to just spend some time playing some music and finishing it. But I really, really want to see these boards. Like, I am so bummed that I can't see each and every one of your bingo boards because I know they're nothing short of fantastic. So be sure to share your pages. Make sure to screenshot those bingo boards once you're ready and pop them into Sonder Club. You'll see me popping in there later tonight. And I would love, love, love to see your boards. I know it's really fun to just at least get it started, but I'm so super excited to see them, and I know they're kind of fun to just share in the club, anyways. Get that extra love and appreciation for the hard work that you put in your page. But I will put up some QR codes here. We still have the referral program going on at Silk and Sonder. So if you love Silk and Sonder as much a lot and you know somebody in your life that would also love it, go ahead and take advantage of that referral code. Also, keep in mind if you're on a subscription plan where it's not the annual, maybe think about if you really like Silk and Sonder and feel like it's really helped you, think about upgrading to that annual subscription. You'll save a ton of money. So it's honestly a great deal. I've been an active subscriber for many years and I love it. So definitely take advantage of that if that's something that you're thinking about. And also make sure to download the app. Once again, that's how we all interact with each other outside of these Sonder socials. So make sure to do that. And then Maya's going to drop in the YouTube link. That is going to be where we house all of our past Sonder Social content. So if there's anything that you're curious about or anything that you may have missed, go ahead and check that out. We have a ton of socials in there, a ton of content for you to view if you want some extra guidance in using the most out of your Sonder social, your Silk and Sonder journals. And I will pop in, as promised, my playlist. So this is my Sonder Social playlist. Let me go ahead and share it. Oops, what just happened? 1 second. Share, copy link, and here we go. Dropped it in the chat. Go ahead and check that out if you would like. Once again, thank you so, so much for spending this hour with me. It zooms by. I know it was definitely a lot of reflection, but I hope we ended on a fun note so that you can have a great rest of your weekend. So thank you all so much. I'm so excited to see you at my next one. Have a great weekend, everybody. See ya.
Sometimes it hits like a car crash, and it's too late to reverse. Sometimes you make me a better person. Sometimes you bring out the worst. Sometimes we get on like fire. Sometimes we're stubborn like rain.